Hello, everybody. Welcome into a Monday edition of the Computer America Show. Great program planned for you. AVG is going to be here in the first hour, and then in the second hour, it's Computer and Technology News, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show as we begin another 2-hour edition of Computer America.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And hopefully all of you had a wonderful weekend out there and did something fun. Maybe caught Mad Max.
Again, I still hear great things about that movie.
Yeah, exactly. I did not catch it this weekend. We had a lot of things to do, as we always tend to have here in the Crossman household. But hopefully all of you had a wonderful weekend. And again, welcome into the Monday edition of the Computer America Show. We got some new things to talk about, which we're going to save for the second hour. It has to do with our contests and how we're revamping them and what we want you to do to get entered into the contests. So we're going to be announcing all of that. Probably in hour 2 of the show when we have a little bit more time. Let's see, anything else that you want to mention before we get started with our guest tonight?
No, just we have some things to just between me, you, and our audience, we have some things to discuss. You're not in trouble, but some things to discuss in the second hour. But I think as far as the first hour goes, we're good to go.
Yeah, all right, well, good. Okay, well, as I mentioned, our guest in this first hour is from AVG, or as Ben said, AVG. Exactly.
Just as funny as the last time I used that joke.
Yes, it was, exactly. Although I still know how to spell it. But AVG Technologies is here. They are the online security company providing leading software and services to secure devices, data, and people. AVG has over 187 million active subscribers using AVG's products and services, including internet security, performance optimization, and personal privacy and identity protection. By choosing AVG's products, users become part of a trusted global community that engages directly with AVG to provide feedback and offer mutual support to other customers. Now, joining us tonight is Tony Anscombe, the Senior Security Evangelist for AVG. Tony, welcome into Computer America. How are you tonight?
I'm good, thank you, Craig, and excited to be here on the show.
Yes, and I'm sorry, how do I pronounce your last name? It's Anscombe?
Anscombe. That's good.
Anscombe. Okay, all right, I want to make sure. All right, so I'm glad to have you here tonight, and as are we all. I've known and used AVG products for many, many, many years. And AVG has been around for, how long has AVG been around, Tony?
Over 20 years, Craig, and let's start with some trivia on your fun with our name.
Mm-hmm.
The company was originally called Greasoft out of the Czech Republic, and AVG was the product name and stood for Antivirus Guard.
Really? Antivirus Guard? I did not know that. Guard, yes. Antivirus Guard. Yes, exactly.
I would imagine many people in AVG, AVG as a company probably don't know that. So hopefully they're listening, and we've educated all of us.
Well, at least we all learned something so far. So you've been around for all these years. You weren't always as.
Antivirus Guard, you guys launched back in 1992. I mean, what were you guys doing back then? Like, I was about 1 year old when you guys launched, but what were you guys doing way back then? That's anything different than what you're doing now?
Well, malware has certainly changed. If you go back to those early days in the early 90s, malware was being created as a disruptor. So, people were sitting in the back of their garage hoping to get the badge of honor for disrupting thousands and thousands of machines around the world with, the Pac-Man running across the screen or creating a blue screen on somebody's machine. But now it's changed. It's changed big time. It's all about identity theft, fraud. Unfortunately, money has entered the cyber criminals world. And now they don't actually want to be seen, and they don't want the badge of honor. They want to stay hidden. So back then, it was a very different scenario. And if you look at the amount of malware that's researched today or in the world today, it's huge compared with back then.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, you're correct. In the old days, they had like the Yankee Doodle virus, and it would start whistling Yankee Doodle. It was harmless little things, or they would just go out and try to wipe out the floppy disk that you put in there, and then said, you were attacked, little skull and crossbones. But you said today it's all about the money, and they don't want you to know that they're on your computer, and they just run silently in the background. In fact, if you leave it alone, you'll never know really that they're on your computer until they start stealing stuff from you. And there are other things that they can do too, not only stealing from you, but they have these. They'll use your computer, take it over, and use it in bot attacks or denial of service attacks. When they want to, they want to get thousands and thousands of computers to do a particular function. They can commandeer your computer to do that, all without you actually ever knowing that all this is going on. It's very surreptitious these days, isn't it, Tony?
It is, and at the start of last year, actually, when Samsung released the fridge that has an Android interface on it. Interesting, you mentioned botnets. One of the pieces of malware actually attacked that fridge and used it to send spam. So an interesting. It's not just about computers; it's about all the other Internet of Things that we're starting to get in our home that are connected all the time.
Now, I heard one antivirus expert say that the way that antivirus products used to work, they were looking for a signature or a footprint or a definition of some sort. He says we really can't do that anymore. He says because there are like hundreds of thousands of new viruses coming out almost on a daily basis, and it's virtually impossible for a company to monitor viruses the old way they used to do it years ago. Would you either agree or disagree with that, or kind of expand on that?
Well, I would partially agree. So yes, they're correct. If the only thing you did was look at viruses and create signatures, then you would never be able to keep pace. But there is a mix. So sometimes, just say we see a brand new piece of malware into the market. Actually, sometimes a signature might be the fastest way to actually get protection into the market and protect our users. At the same time, however, our behavioral and heuristic teams, our identity detection protocols, etc., will all start actually building analysis and looking at the underlying malware, its patterns, what it does, how it works, and looking to build in more intelligent systems that look for it when it's obfuscated slightly, or it changes behavior, or somebody creates another member of the same virus family, so that we block them as families using heuristics rather than signatures.
All right. I mean, it's the way that the virus acts, and there's certain ways that it would act to do something it would gives it away. I mean, no matter is that are you looking for necessarily the process of what it's trying to do, rather than the virus itself? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. So we look, yeah, we look to see what the, whether, if I'm trying to think of a good example here, but if you're downloading a piece of, or browsing a web page and the web page is static content and suddenly it tries to open shares or open some sort of ActiveX or JavaScript on your machine that's unexpected or out of context with what it is you're doing or what's expected on that page, then the behavior changes. So then we start looking at odd things and seeing what those permissions and whatever it's doing to make sure the user can be protected.
well, okay. So I know we all know basically AVG as an antivirus company. Are you still an antivirus company, or are you known as more of an internet protection service? I mean, how does AVG like to position itself in this day of 2015?
It's a lot more than an antivirus company. I mean, it's great. It's great, as you said at the start of the interview. Lots of people have run our products. You know our logo. You've seen us on a machine at some stage. Great. But if you look at how the market's progressed, firstly, antiviruses became anti-malware. It's become anti-malware. So it's a lot more than just viruses. It includes phishing and all those other things. But we've also changed our nature as users. We've moved into mobile devices, tablets, you name it. We're trying to connect it to the internet in some way. And we at AVG have moved with that. So we've moved from being that antivirus company. We have performance products to make sure your machine is working at its optimum. Mm-hmm. But we've also got a lot of mobile products to keep that mobility and that mobile internet connection safe as well, whether that's anti-malware, anti-theft, etc. And we've also more latterly we bought a company called Location Labs who do safety around our location, particularly important when you look at, for example, families.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing where your kids are, knowing they're safe at any given time of the day. It's part of actually being safe online and some of the tools we should use.
All right. By the way, our listeners, if you have a comment or a question for Tony from AVG, you can give us a call at 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. I'll get you through. We're also in our chat room. If you'd like to join us in our live chat room from our homepage at computeramerica.com, just go to the show lounge and you'll see the chat room. Put in any name that you like. That's a username that name will be known by when you go in there and you're in. It's just that simple. A lot of fun people are in there. We'll love to speak with you. You can interact with us as well. But give us a call at 347-884-8881. A unique opportunity to talk to Tony, senior security evangelist for AVG. If you have questions. So, all right. So we're talking about the company. Let me just ask you, what's new or coming out for AVG at this point?
Well, there's a lot new, Craig. So if you think about, I just mentioned we acquired Location Labs. That was at the back end of last year. To adding location and carrier-based protection is new to us as a company, but we're building that into our product offerings very quickly and enhancing what they brought to the table. But we've also, more latterly, just a couple of weeks ago, we acquired a personal VPN product from Prevex out of the UK called HMA, and that's allowing us to offer encryption to users when they're on public Wi-Fi, etc. And I'm sure we'll come back and talk about that. Mm-hmm. But other things we've been doing is around business. Now, I know you're a consumer show, but a lot of as consumers, we all go to work. We have some really cool business products. We've just released what we call AVG Business SSO, which is secure sign-on. So, when you come to work, you have to sign on to 15 different applications or whatever to get to your travel system, accounting system, your email, etc. Business SSO actually allows you to have one single password, an identity to all your business applications as a small business. So something an enterprise would typically have, we've brought to the small businesses.
All right. So, all right. Now you mentioned the VPN option that you've added this to your product. So that is interesting. Why don't you explain to our listeners what a VPN is and why your VPN is, why would people recommend going to your VPN?
Okay, well, let's start with what the issue of what a VPN is and the issue that it resolves.
Mm-hmm.
So a VPN, a virtual private network, is encryption. So basically, it messes up all the stuff that you send to the internet. At the other end, it's sorted out and put into plain text, so to speak. So rather than sending a postcard, that everybody can see and read on its transport across the postal system, a VPN in effect puts it in an envelope. A little bit more technical than that, obviously, but that's a fairly good description of it for most people. Why do you need a VPN though? And that's the important part. Ever go to the coffee shop and connect to the network in the coffee shop, which of course is public, and we can all connect to it and we can browse the internet. And I've sat in coffee shops and seen people doing their online banking and they're posting things on social media networks, etc. Firstly, you can sit behind them and watch what they're doing, which is rather frightening. But if I was sat there with the right tools on that network, potentially I could see all that information flowing over that network as well, taking off passwords, personal information. Same in hotels, airports, anywhere where there's public Wi-Fi. Potentially, you have a problem of unencrypted traffic.
We've seen quite a few VPNs out there, and sometimes they get pretty difficult to set up. It's not the most technical thing, but it's up there. Do you guys tackle that in any way? Like, because I can only assume like maybe an avid traveler, they don't want to have to go into the settings and change it 15 times. Depending if you're in an airport or a hotel or a coffee shop or just traveling. Have you guys simplified the process of using a VPN?
Yeah, so if you actually look at the process HMA gives users, it is a fairly simple process. But let me tell you what we've built on mobile, because I think what we've done for mobile, and it'll show you kind of where we're going with our VPN technology. We have something called Wi-Fi Assistant on the Android platform, and what Wi-Fi Assistant allows is for you to automatically set trusted locations and non-trusted locations. So, for example, you have your home, your work, and your coffee shop, and those are three locations where you tell your device, I'm going to want Wi-Fi access in those three locations, and they're trusted locations. And when I'm in the coffee shop, please automatically start my VPN. And what the application does is it looks at your cell tower. So it looks at the cellular network. So not using the GPS, because that will drain the battery on a mobile device. But it looks at the cell towers. Oh, you're in the coffee shop. You're in that location. I'm going to automatically connect you to the network, and I'm going to encrypt it. So as the user, once you've set this up once, you never have to come back in and do it again. It's seamless for you.
Now, my understanding also with the VPN is that the people don't know who you are or even where you are. So, for example, if I go online and I want to download something, and I don't want them to know anything about me, I don't want them to know about my name, I can use a VPN to, I guess, spoof everything and look like I'm coming from the Netherlands or some other location, and I can feel fairly confident that I'm anonymous to everybody who's trying to look at me. Is that a fair assessment, Tony?
Yeah, absolutely. That is a very good assessment. So in effect, it privatizes your browsing. It makes you anonymous.
Okay.
Which obviously has the benefit, as we all know, people are tracking our behavior online and where we go and what we do, so they can target our advertising, which is all building profiles of us. And by using a VPN, we can keep that secret. It also allows you to experience localized content. So, for example, as you can hear, I'm a Brit. However, if I go to the BBC website just to read the news, nothing else, just to read the news. If I go there from the US, I get international news on the front page. If I use a VPN and connect looking like I'm in the UK, I actually get what I would see while I'm as though I was in the UK, which will give me my more localized news.
Right, and
so it gives me my home experience as well.
right, or there are places that might not allow. If I'm in the U.S. and I want to go to a Chinese website or something, they may not, because I want to order takeout or something. They might not. They might not allow me to look at their website because I'm in the United States. But if I can spoof it or make it look like I'm someplace else or another country, or even in China, if there's a server in there, which you allow me to do with a VPN. Then I can actually see I'm not banned from looking at that content, or let's say there's a baseball game or a football game in a particular area, but they're blacking it out into certain parts of the country.
Well, I think what most people experience though is YouTube and Netflix are two of the most common ones that we hear. And though, and like maybe the offerings in Canadian Netflix is not the same as American Netflix, not the same as Mexican Netflix. And I'm sure it's not the same for the UK Netflix. And then YouTube is just behind a lot of barriers, especially for people not in the US. They're blocked for whatever reason it is. So you're saying that you could use AVG's VPN to actually be able to view content from these places?
You can get an IP address in a location of your choice, so you can choose where you come from. However, accessing content that has some sort of restriction on it, you should always do so, conscious that you're within the license terms or agreement terms of the service you're using. The example I gave was the dissemination of news content. So if somebody accessing a news site is pretty good for anybody anywhere in the world, that dissemination of information.
Yeah, and I understand. Now, of course, in the wrong hands, like anything else, it could be. We had someone here who basically was downloading copyrighted material, and then the moment he did that, he got a notice immediately from his internet service provider, said, "You got to stop that, or we're going to cut you off." And so he immediately did. And that was fine. Had he been using a VPN, though, Tony, would they have known that it was him, or he wouldn't have gotten that warning notice?
Let's build a better criminal right now on the air.
I know, but I have to ask that question.
No, you may still get that notice. Remember, a VPN is an encryption tunnel between you and a server somewhere, and then when it comes out the other end of that server and gets the content, it's going across the normal internet. So what you're securing is your end of the connection and through your ISP. However, a copyright notice still might be sent to the VPN provider, and the VPN provider, if they're a reputable one like HMA, will send that copyright notice infringement to you as well.
I see. Okay, so it's not a license to steal, obviously, and that's an important point. But there are legitimate, important uses why you should have a VPN, and that's to protect your identity, protect your anonymity, or as you say, if you're in a public area, you're in a hotel using a hotel Wi-Fi, you need to encrypt or protect yourself. Perfect examples of why a VPN or one from AVG is necessary, really. I think it's a necessary tool of the trade. Otherwise, you're just leaving yourself open for anything to happen.
Yeah, especially especially over public Wi-Fi. Having that encryption over public Wi-Fi. If we go back about 5 years, you could drive down any street here in America and park outside somebody's house and connect to their Wi-Fi network indoors because nobody encrypted their Wi-Fi networks.
Right.
You do that now, you won't find any open networks in the street. You'll find everybody's got the padlock next to their Wi-Fi network, and they've secured them. Yeah, that's the next generation of securing those networks.
Yeah, that's been an about face. People have found. I mean, war driving, that's what that is. In other words, people go around cars with a laptop and then find a local unprotected Wi-Fi signal and be able to glom onto that. you're finding that virtually doesn't. I mean, you go to neighborhoods now, you'll always see a little lock next to the SSID, which basically means this is it's locked, it's protected, you can't get in. And
But that's also a step up in technology from the manufacturers of routers, because now it comes standard. Like as soon as you take it out of the box and you turn it on, it comes standard with a with a preset password. So.
and it's not password either anymore.
Oh, it's not password either.
Yeah, they used to do that. It used to be admin and password. That was pretty much it, was the password, but you don't see that anymore.
And we should just recommend actually that people do change the password and make it something else.
Yeah, exactly. People are becoming more security conscious. Tony, would you not agree?
Yeah, absolutely. We're becoming more educated about what we need to do to protect our connected lives.
We have a question. We have a question for you in the chat room. Wants to know. He says, "How are AVG server options? You know, are there a lot of options that the users of those servers can use, or?"
Servers, as in business servers, I assume somebody's asking.
Probably for VPN. So.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, no. Our VPN product is a consumer product, so it's not a server platform. So it's not about me being a company putting up a server and having 50 employees connect to it.
Okay.
In effect, the server is our end, and all the consumers are the people that connect to it and use it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I think what he was getting to, just to get a little more specific, was like we've seen some VPNs that have one server in Texas and one server in Thailand, and then there are other VPNs that have a server in every country. I think he's trying to get at which, if you know off the top of your head, how many locations, or if there's a good mix of servers that you can connect to.
Oh, there's a mass of servers. So the HMA product has one of the widest distributions of servers around the globe. Also, not just in single cities. So you'll find servers all across the US. So you could look pretty much like you're from any part of the US.
Okay. All right. So.
Yeah, right before we got on the tangent from the question in the chat room, by the way, thanks for that. The other thing is like we were just talking about how everyone is getting more security minded, and trust me, it's been a while now since I've seen someone who hasn't gone out as soon as they purchase a computer and either kept the pre-installed version or went out and got AVG or a product like it. I mean, I think antivirus is pretty much we're winning that war, but at the same time, you mentioned earlier about the Internet of Things, and this has been a concern. I think they recently had the latest Black Hat conference, and I'm pretty sure the Internet of Things took a beating. Like the way that these things are secured is like security seems to be taking a backseat while they put connected devices everywhere, connected cameras, connected fridges, connected crockpots, connected everything, security systems. But security really isn't, being thought of right now, is it?
So yeah, so if you think about, I was going to say one of the best examples I think is very personal. Is think about like Fitbit the fitness trackers.
Yeah.
So Fitbits, Jawbones, etc. Think about the data they collect. While we run into shops, we buy all these gadgets, we buy all the things we want. Some of we don't really consider the security implications, maybe always of what we connect and where and how and why and what we're sharing, and people need to start thinking about that. Thinking about, actually, does somebody need to know my heart rate, my blood pressure? Do they need to know when I eat, or what activities I do, and all those types of things? So security, I think, is taking a much wider place as well. And we call it, privacy is part of security. And I don't think we always think like that. And I think as the Internet of Things proliferates through our home, our cars, and through our lives, actually, I think what we think of security and antiviruses and all those sorts of things today. I actually think the big topic will be keeping our information secure and actually keeping us as people secure.
Right. All right. Listen, we have a lot more questions for you, Tony, but we're at the bottom of the hour. It means we're going to take a little break, and then we'll come back and continue on, okay? You're listening to the Computer America Show, and Ben and I are talking to Tony Anscombe, who is the Senior Security Evangelist for AVG. And if you have a comment or question, give us a call, 347-884-8881. 347-884-8881. I'll get you on and get you through. Of course, we are in our chat room from computeramerica.com, our homepage. Just click the show lounge, and you'll be able to enter into the Computer America Show. We're going to have a brand new News Tips Bold review from Marty Winston coming up as well. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-866-663-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Aha! This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Antec Cooler. That's K-U-H-L-E-R. The Cooler H2O 1250 Liquid Cooler. A car's radiator helps cool the engine by circulating water through the engine, then into small pipes behind an area of metal fins with a heat exchange assist from a big set of blades driven by the appropriately named fan belt. Fins and fans have always been the basis of CPU cooling, and in some cases, pumped fluids as well. Antec sent the king of their liquid cooler line, the Cooler H2O 1250, with dual plus-size pumps, dual 120 millimeter, 600 to 2400 RPM fans, and a 4.7 by 11-inch radiator permanently sealed for no user maintenance. You can either replace dual case fans or mount this piggyback behind them, and you can configure its cold plate heads bracket for most current AMD or Intel CPUs. The copper plate on the CPU face of the head helps heat transfer, and its top side has a multicolor LED that you can use its software to configure to show thermal status at a glance. Bottom line, the Antec Cooler H2O 1250 liquid CPU cooling solution stays quiet most of the time, but may speak up if your overclocking goes crazy and you thermally abuse the CPU. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bullet Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. And I gotta fix something later. Welcome back to the Computer America Show. Thank you, Marty Winston, for that latest News Tip Bulletin review. If you didn't catch it this time, that's okay. It'll be running every hour in the first. It'll be running every first hour of the show this week. So plenty of time to catch that, as well as our show archives, video archives, all our archives everywhere. But right now we have Mr. Tony Anscombe. He is the senior security evangelist for AVG Technologies. AVG, awesome product. We use it in a couple places here. I mean, still not sure how they make their how they make their money, but never had to pay, and it's a good product. So hey, good stuff there. So we're just talking about the Internet of Things and security and VPNs. Did you have anything else new that you guys wanted to announce since the beginning of last year that we really haven't gotten into yet? Because you guys seem to be doing a lot lately.
Oh, we certainly are. One of the things we've shown a preview of recently is the next release of our AVG Zen product. Zen is a dashboard that allows you to bring together all your devices under one place. So if you think about having a laptop, a phone, a tablet, and then you think about having a performance piece of software, an anti-malware piece of software, a privacy piece of software on each one, suddenly I've got this matrix of 3 by 3, and it becomes challenging to make sure all my family's devices stay safe. So if each person has 3 and there's 3 products on each, it can become complicated. Zen allows you to bring all that under one banner, and I can manage my home network and all the AVG products on my home network for all my different family members, and keep them all safe from one place.
Let me ask you this: what are the hackers after? I mean, they're coming after my computer. What is they're trying to get? I mean, obviously we know about the bank accounts and the passwords. I mean, what else are they after, Tony?
Well, it's personal identity. I mean, there's two different things that are, or two major things that a hacker is after. One is either using your machine for its computing power, so to launch a bigger attack where they don't have the processing power to go off and make that bigger attack, or to send spam or whatever it is. But two is as you've just said, is your identity. If somebody can steal your identity and maybe aggregate that identity with other data sources, so maybe from one of the data breaches we read about every day, unfortunately, in our newspapers, they can start to build a profile of you, and they can start to create fraud or potentially steal your identity, to take loans out, apply for driver's licenses, etc., which can be devastating.
I understand that completely. If I'm a user, and we've actually had one in the chat room that said this, is he hasn't used AVG in a while, and he's been using some other product, and although he says it sounds like it might be worth a try again. Why should someone, if they've tried AVG a couple of years ago, I'm sure you would encourage them to look at AVG and try it again. What would you have to say to these people?
Well, we have a very lightweight product. One of the things that we've always been proud of is the free product is exceptionally fast. So when I say lightweight, I mean in speed, not in detection rates. Mm-hmm. The detection rate actually is very good in our product, and I think you mentioned right at the start of the show, we protect as a community. So we use a cloud system that allows, if we see something suspicious entering your machine, you go to a website. So you go to website X today, and there's a malicious page, or somebody's put a drive-by download on it and hacked that website. When we see that on your machine, the first thing we do is we share it back to our cloud system. We share the threat. So the other 200 million AVG users out there are automatically protected from the threat on that website. So by mass, we protect each other, and we should feel good about that.
Okay, and that's good. So obviously, we're encouraging listeners to, if you've gone away from AVG and you're using something else, you should go back and check it out again. It's vastly improved. They keep adding new things and new features, and I think that's a good thing. I think that's good advice for things in general and products in general too. If you haven't used a product in a long time, you might want to go back and look at it, because products are always being updated and improved, and you don't want to get comfortable. You need to know what's out there and what's available. And even AVG has one of its famous things is that they have a free version as well, the AVG free, so you can try it out, and for an unlimited amount of time, and then you can update it to the newer version or the full featured version when you'd like to. And I assume they continue to do that, Tony, correct?
Absolutely, and it's worth pointing out. A lot of people often ask me, what's the difference between the products? And from an anti-malware perspective, there is no difference. They share the same engine and same anti-malware features between both free and paid. The paid product adds cool features like anti-spam, a firewall. There's some video acceleration. There's other bits of security software built into the paid product. So you encompass everything in one place. But the actual core anti-malware piece is the same.
Now, does AVG work with other products? There was a suggestion that you might have seen AVG products logos on other tune-up or other types of products out there. Does AVG work with other companies to provide their malware technology?
Well, you mentioned the word tune-up. We acquired a company called TuneUp, so that's actually an AVG product. We acquired them a couple of years back, and it's now AVG PC TuneUp. So yes, we license technology, but most of the companies like that actually are other AVG companies.
Exactly. All right. So really,
yeah, I personally, I recommend getting as many virus scanning systems on your computer at once as you can. You can't be too safe. So, all of them at once, right?
Well, definitely not. Firstly, your machine would grind to, at some stage, come to a grinding halt. That would be like having 10 scanners at the airport. It would take you a long time to get through security at the airport. So I wouldn't recommend that. What you need is to research a scanner with a good detection rate. Like I say, you can look at that independently at somewhere like avtest.org, where they do a monthly test of AV products and publish the detection rates. You can make a decision there and look at some speed and performance of those products to make sure they're not going to slow your machine down. More importantly, look at false positives, because you don't want something to be crying false positive too often. That's where something's detected which is actually good, which can actually be sometimes worse than actually a virus or malicious code. And make a decision and get a good clean product. And actually, I would obviously recommend ours, AVG free, as you mentioned. But make your decision an informed decision.
Never use an antivirus, more than one antivirus product. That layering would just would bog everything down, and it's totally unnecessary. People think, I'll use 2 antivirus products and I'll be twice as protected, and it doesn't work that way.
Like, to us, it seems silly, and it's like, well, of course you don't do that. But all the time, I'll go and look at people's computers, and they'll be the same ones with 4 or 5 different search bars on the browser, as well as 3 or 4 different antivirus products, and then they complain that their videos are loading slow or something like that. There are people out there that need to know that.
Yep. You pick one and use the one that you're using, and now that doesn't mean you can't change it. You can use other ones if you want. I mean, but only one at a time. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but one thing that I always liked about AVG is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I remember, is that you guys also have like an optimization program rolled in with your antivirus. So like it actually provides a few services along with the it's not just antivirus, but you get other services along with that.
So any of the AVG products you pick up, there tends to be a free element to that product. All of our offerings as well. So that's true. For example, we have some of the free performance utilities out there, and there's some things in the free product, AV product, that allow you to increase the performance of your machine. In fact, I think it was last year when somebody reviewed our new version back in September last year. As I recall, they said the machine actually worked faster with our product than without, which I'm not quite sure how they got to that result, but it was great to read.
Yeah, absolutely. You have, I guess, well, David Letterman's got his top 10. You have your top 3 tips for not getting your information stolen. What are those, Tony?
That's a good question. I thought about this before the show, and I'm not sure I can bring them down to three tips.
I'll give you 4.
We'll try.
We'll go 4 if you want.
Good security. Obviously, having a security product on a machine. In fact, any internet-connected device. So don't forget your mobile phone. Don't forget your tablet. Don't forget your laptop. All the things that you're actually browsing content, doing your email, or adding things to social networks, or putting in your personal information. Make sure you've got a security product not only installed. Make sure it's up to date. Yeah. So if you're buying a product and it's expired, make sure you don't sit there for the next 3 months just clicking through the expired message every day. Either remove it, put a free product back on, or pay and get the subscription back. You don't want that period of unprotection. One of my other top tips, and we're all kind of guilty of this because we all do it for ease of purchasing or ease of going to websites. There's websites that offer to store all your details. For example, when you go to purchase something, would you like us to store your credit card details? Would you like us to store your personal details to make it easier to log on next time and transact? I'm capable of actually typing my credit card information into every website I go to when I want to purchase something. So actually not storing any of this information anywhere is going to keep me safer, because when there's a data breach, I can sit there and go, well, they might have got my email address as a customer, but they don't have my credit card information. Yeah, so that's definitely going to keep me safer. Bit of a pain, I agree, but good tip. One big one is to create different IDs and different passwords on different sites. Again, we're all human. We like to simplify things, so we use the same ID across all the different websites we go to. And typically we find then lots of people use the same password across all those sites. Of course, if one of those sites gets hacked, if there is a data breach, potentially somebody could have access to everything across all the sites you might go to. Make sure you differentiate. Use different email addresses every now and again. Use different IDs. Use different passwords for different sites. And passwords is a good subject, in fact, because we tend to think of passwords being words or things we can easily remember. You can create some really cool passwords of something you'll remember and nobody will ever guess. So, for example, if you're a soccer fan, you might have Man U for Manchester United 6, and you might have Man C, Manchester City 0. And then you might put an exclamation mark on the back. It's no real words in there. It's difficult for somebody to guess, and it's only something you're going to remember. You can do that with pretty much any sports team you can think of. And the other one is make sure you don't overshare. Make sure you don't overshare. We're the culprits of a lot of these things. We like to share things. We like to post pictures. We like to post our location. We like to post information about our families. Make sure we only share it with the people we love and the people we want to see it. Yeah, the whole world does not need to see our private pictures.
Exactly. All right. Well, there was more than 3, but that's good. So I don't know. I wasn't keeping track of how many is that, Tony?
There were 4.
There are 4. Okay, good. And in that, you mentioned our mobile phones. So I'm going to ask you: do our mobile phones need security protection, and if so, does AVG supply anything for that?
Yeah, we have AVG antivirus for Android. Again, we have a free and a paid product. But actually, just to give you an example of malware on a mobile device, we recently discovered actually a new piece of malware in our labs. Our guys saw this specifically in one geographic region in the world, but quite a frightening piece of malware. What it actually did was it took control of your power off button, which doesn't sound too frightening to start with, but what it did was it made you believe when you powered the phone off that you were powering the phone off.
Oh.
What it did in the background is it left the phone on. And while the screen was blacked out and you thought the phone was off, it could make calls, send text messages. It could do anything on the phone it wanted to, pretty much. Now, think about making calls and sending text messages. If I start making calls to premium rate lines or sending text messages to premium rate numbers, as the bad guy that wrote the malware, I can directly monetize the malware that's infected your device. So it's a direct monetization method where if you think about it, could I do that on a PC? It's a lot harder. I can steal your identity, but then I've got to work out what to do with it. On a mobile device, I can make money directly. So it's a lot more attractive.
Really? That is kind of spooky. And now you say it's strictly for Android phones. So if I have an iOS phone or have an iPhone, obviously, I assume that they're products for the iPhone as well. I mean, even though it might not be from AVG.
So that we don't have an anti-malware product. In fact, I don't think anybody has an anti-malware product for an iPhone. However, people often ask me, can you get a virus on an iPhone? It's, well, just define what malware is. Malware, you and I tend to, or most people tend to think of being a virus, something infects your machine and does something bad or manipulates what we're doing. If somebody sends me an SMS with a link in it and it takes me to a web page that's going to fish for my password, or it's a link in an email and it's going to fish for, say, my Twitter password or my Facebook password, that's, in my book, that's malware. If something has malicious intent or is trying to harm me or defraud me in some way, I would define that as malware. Strictly speaking, it's not about, it's not corrupted or bad software in the same way. But I think those you should have those protections on all devices against phishing emails and phishing scams and bad SMSs, etc.
All right. Well,
every platform deserves security.
Is it, Tony? Are all these different breaches and infections? Obviously, it seems like we're hearing more and more about them, and there are more and more of these things happening. And we're talking about data breaches. And are there more of them, or are we just hearing more about them in this day and age because it's affecting us more, or is it a combination of both?
I think it's a combination of both. Obviously, if you think about all the information that we readily give up and store in different places, obviously then there's more data out there for somebody to steal. But also, I think the disclosure of such data breaches is actually now required by law in most countries. So there is actually a requirement for somebody to disclose they've had a data breach. So we are hearing more about them, and of course, they're on such massive scales. The ones we read about, whether it's Anthem, Target, Sony, whichever one you read about, they're on such massive scales. A frightening statistic that I read at the end of last year was that Verizon did some research with Office Depot about small businesses and data breaches in small businesses. 72% of small business owners confirmed that they'd had some sort of data breach in some way.
Wow.
That's a frightening statistic because we don't consider those small businesses in the same way. And of course, they don't actually hit the press in the same way either.
Wow.
And it's so much harder for a small business to come back for something like that because, when Home Depot, let's say with that giant, breach of passwords and breach of credit card numbers and things like that. Like, they went into an investigation and, they sent letters out to everyone to let know, they let everyone know. But, at the end of the day, they're going to be okay. Small businesses, if they cause any kind of damage, in the tens of thousands of dollars, that might be the end of the business.
Absolutely, and that's why, actually, as AVG, if you look at where we try and provide services to businesses, we've come from consumer upwards rather than enterprise down. So we've come thinking about those businesses from 5 employees up to 250 employees. Of course, 250 being reasonably big size, but yeah, if you think of that 5 to 25, what we've done is we've brought services to market, for example, like a managed, what we call managed workplace, that allows you to manage every device in the company and make sure that they've got the right levels of software, security, backup, policies in place, etc. What you typically see an enterprise deploy, we can actually bring down to the small, medium businesses and make it simple for those small businesses to run in a secure fashion.
Really, really. All right. Well, if you go to the AVG website, which we encourage all of you to do, and of course, we have the links to the AVG website up at computeramerica.com. We encourage you to go there and look at the side-by-side comparison. You can see all the different products and what AVG has to offer. I love the side-by-side comparison. You can see little check marks there, and it shows you what each one offers, and the new one, and what additional.
Oh, who doesn't love charts?
Yeah, exactly. And you can see that for yourself at the AVG website. And we encourage you to go there. It's avg.com, and of course the link is also at computeramerica.com. Tony, anything else you want to mention to our listeners? We got about 2 minutes left about AVG and why they should check out your products.
Well, like I say, the product is lightweight, so it's super fast. It's got great detection results, and of course, the bit we all like is there's a free product, so there's no cost of entry.
Yeah.
So come and check out our Android products and check out our products for PCs. And more importantly, think about what you're posting online. Think about how to stay safe and how to stay private.
Yeah, exactly. And again, if privacy is an issue, they have the VPN. It's a option. It's a consumer product. And you can use it and remain anonymously safe, without giving out information about yourself. Very useful, and especially in public areas. You go to the coffee shop or the Starbucks or something, and they offer you free Wi-Fi. Any place that offers you free Wi-Fi, don't go on there without some sort of protection.
Nice, big, friendly, white windowless van that says free Wi-Fi on the side. Don't do it.
Yeah, you can do it, but make sure you have a VPN. Make sure that you have
VPN it.
Yeah, VPN it, exactly. Make sure that you do that before you. So when you start your computer up, it immediately goes right to the VPN, and they don't know who you are, and all of your information will remain safe. Strongly. What's the cost of the VPN at this point, Tony?
That's a great question, and I wish I knew the answer. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't, but I'm sure it's on our website, avg.com.
Right, and you can start with the AVG free, but and the different options. The pricing is there available as well. Ben's got it up there now. You can on his.
It seems mostly in like the $30 to $70 range, depending on which product you get. And again, 70 is like the high end of this stuff. So. Right. Very, very reasonable. I'm sure those are for year plans.
Yeah, and that's for a year plan, exactly. And then I guess you offer upgrade pass for subscribers.
Well, for the security and protection products and the performance products, you can buy AVG Ultimate, which is actually a household license. So you can secure every device, every Android device, Mac, PC in the house, all under one license. And that's I think that's about $90, $90. Right.
And that's for the year as well. Yeah, AVG Ultimate.
Yeah, absolutely.
$89.99.
And there's no limitation. No, and there's no limitation to devices in your house. If you've got 10 PCs and 10 phones in your house, then that's protection for all of them.
Excellent. Well, Tony, again, I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us here tonight on Computer America and share some of what it is that AVG has to offer. Again, avg.com is the website, or go to computeramerica.com. Right from our homepage, we have links to the AVG website. And Tony, thanks again for being with us here on Computer America.
Anytime, and stay safe online.
Absolutely, and we would say the same to you as well. All right, take care. Bye-bye, Tony.
Bye.
Thanks.
All right, there he goes. Okay, AVG.
I miss him already.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, the award for the most British thing said on the air was indeed his password.
Yeah.
Manchester United won. Whatever the other one was, 0. It was like, it's not about tonight. We give that award away every night, but he won it this time. Usually it's myself, but he won it this time.
All right, there. Okay.
Craig, do you even know what I'm talking about anymore?
Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't.
Perfect.
We're coming up in hour 2. We have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. What is this game that you want people to try?
Oh, it's a game that is built into your browser, and currently there's about 30,000 people playing it. Very, very fun, very, very easy. Just people in the chat room. I give recommendations sometimes. You should check it out. Come into the chat room with us.
Agariga.io. All right, we'll have to check it out. We're going to just break for a quick moment. We've got another computer news tips bulletin review from Marty Winston coming up as well. We'll be right back. This is Computer America.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into hour 2 of the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And welcome into the second hour of the program. Just had AVG, Tony Anscombe here, the senior security evangelist for AVG. On the program. If you missed it, you'll be able to listen again under our archives at ComputerAmerica.com. Lots of things going on at our website. We're going to have computer and technology news in this hour. But I wanted to take a little time and explain to you what it is that we're doing on ComputerAmerica.com. A lot of things that we're
we feel like we should be explaining ourselves. We don't know either. We'll get to the bottom of it, but crazy things are happening.
Yeah. So one of the things that we doing is we're changing is our contests. We have the Logitech contest, which is up and running right now. The Logitech contest is basically we're giving away 3 different prizes. It began on the 13th of April. It will end this Friday, May the 22nd at 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Over the weekend, we'll draw the 3 winning names, and on Monday, May 25th, we'll announce the 3 big winners. The third place prize is the Logitech HD Webcam C310, valued at $50. The second place prize is the Logitech G400S Optical Gaming Mouse, valued at $60. And the grand prize is the Logitech X300 Mobile Wireless Stereo Speaker, valued at $70. On the page, all you have to do is go to the ComputerAmerica.com, and you'll go under the Interact pull-down menu. You'll see an option there that says, it'll say Logitech Contest. Just select that, and all you have to do, the registration form is right there. You just put in your full name, just put all the information that asks for, click the submit button, and your entry will be set, and that's all you really have to do. And again, that finishes at Friday midnight Eastern Time. Now, one of the things that we're doing on our weekly contest is we're now adopting or taking advantage of social media. We think it's just the easiest way for you to interact with us and get your entries in. If you go to any page at ComputerAmerica.com, let's get any screen, you'll see on the right-hand side, you'll see...
they look like little charms.
Yeah, the little charms. They're little icons, and they're very easy to understand and follow. But basically, you'll see Google, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Pinterest. You'll see them on the right-hand side of the screen, and also they're on the bottom of the screen of every single page. And what we would like for you to do is just go to the Facebook one, click on the Facebook one, or you can go to the YouTube one. But go to the Facebook one and just like the page. That's all you have to do is like the Computer America page, and then you're in. You're entered. Or on YouTube, you just click the subscribe button, and it'll subscribe you to our YouTube page, and that's it. You're done. Then in our weekly show drawing, where we're giving away the Logitech T650 wireless glass touchpad valued at $80, you're in the drawing, and you could win one. It's just that simple. We want to make it as simple as possible. So just go to Facebook, like the Computer America page, or go to the YouTube and just say subscribe, and you're done. It's really easy. We'll make it as simple as possible for you.
It's painless.
It's painless. Yeah.
Until we come at you with the tooth extractor. We will do that.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can go to the social media contest page under the interact button. There's a social media contest page, and you'll see it right there. There's the Facebook, there's YouTube. We're starting off with Facebook and YouTube for the first week. And we're going to kind of rotate them. You can go to any of them, and you'll be, as long as you register for any of them, you're in our weekly show drawing. But we're starting off promoting with Facebook and YouTube, and you can register. It's just that simple. And every week, we draw a winning name from this, the people who've subscribed or entered or liked or whatever on our Computer America page, and for that Logitech T650 wireless glass touchpad. And that's how we're going to do it. And then
you mentioned, of course, that we do have, for anyone who is confused by charms on the right or what have you, there is a social media page, right?
Yes, exactly. Okay. You weren't listening. You go to the interact pull-down menu. It said social media contest, and you'll see
it's worth reiterating. It's worth reiterating.
It's there. Again, all the icons are right there. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, Google+, Instagram. I mean, they're all there. We're starting off with Facebook and YouTube for this week, but you can enter in any of them. But just, Facebook, you like the page. YouTube, you subscribe. Just do that any one of those options, and then from that list of subscriber names, we draw a winning name every Friday night to win that Logitech T650 glass wireless touchpad. So that's how we're doing it. We're just making it easy. Once you do it, by the way, you're in. Now, obviously, the more social media places that you go to register for Computer America, the better you are, because you'll have even more. Because if you go to Facebook, you like it, and that's it. Okay, you have that one shot. But if you go to YouTube and you go to Twitter and you go to all the other ones and you register, you like us or follow us or subscribe to us, any of the things that you do there to Computer America, you double, triple, quadruple your chances of winning every single week. That's the idea. The more social media that you subscribe to, the better your chances are for winning. It's just that simple.
Yep. And there was a story today about the gentleman who went and purchased a single $10 lottery ticket, or a single $10 raffle ticket.
Yeah,
and won a Harley Davidson motorcycle.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
I mean, it works either way, but yes, we recommend you sign up for all of them, because then we also are planning specific contests, for different prizes for each one. So it won't always, like, right now, just kicking it off, it is what it is. But in the future, we may have Facebook specific contests.
That's
or
right.
Twitter specific. So yeah, check them all out.
Yeah. But the bottom line is, if you register for as many as you can for Computer America social media pages,
more chances to win.
More chances to win, right? And once you register, you don't have to bother again. I mean, you're done. You've done it. You're in. Okay, that's it. Okay, so go to computeramerica.com and just go to all those little things on the right-hand side. What did you call them? Charms? Yeah. And you can just
I call them charms.
Charms. Okay. Okay. So that said, I think it's time to do some news. You set?
Yeah.
Right, let's do it. Tonight's Computer and Technology News is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for free. That's right. Everything at slimwareutilities.com is completely free. Download them all. No reason not to. They won't ask you for money later on. They're not watered down versions of the full implementations, all of them. You'll be happy you did, and you'll thank us for it when you need them. slimwareutilities.com.
What he said.
Yeah. I'm sorry?
What he said.
Yeah, exactly. So in our first news story, this is from Engadget. Love that website. The Wall Street Journal came up with an article saying that Apple shelved its HDTV plans last year. I was wondering whatever happened to that the Apple HDTV. I mean, it's been
because the Apple TV's been around forever.
Yeah, but that Apple TV is a little black box with a remote control and everything. I'm talking about the Apple television set, high definition TV. It has all this stuff built into it.
Wasn't that like the big conspiracy theory behind everyone was talking like the autobiography of Steve Jobs, and everyone thought he was alluding to a fully integrated Apple television set.
Mm-hmm. That there were those there were rumors, but
they never came true.
Never came true. No, exactly. Now, again, according to the Wall Street Journal, they said that the rumors of the Apple high definition TV, the actual television set itself, weren't baseless speculation, because for almost 10 years they've been working on it. But again, according to this report, we're not going to see one coming around anytime soon. It's been shelved. Now, I don't know if they've been working on, they've been working on the Apple Watch. They've had all these products, and I guess they didn't want to spread themselves too thin. And also, another thing about Apple likes to come out with stuff that's really a quantum leap. They don't want to be an also-ran. Ben, they want to come up with something, Sharp's got this, they got smart TVs. So
I think Apple I think Apple under Steve Jobs, that was true. I think so. But as shown with the first product that they've recently launched with the Apple Watch, I don't know if that's going to be true going forward. They're definitely still style conscious, but the days of quantum leap technology releases might be behind them.
I don't know. I mean, Apple was the first and only one to come out with a $17,000 watch. Nobody has that, Ben. That is unique in the industry.
Design? No. The only smart $17,000 watch.
Yeah.
There's $17,000 watches and more expensive all over the place.
Yeah, but the only $17,000 smart watch.
And Craig, you have to admit, that was a publicity stunt. That was nothing more than a publicity stunt. It's not like you get some kind of super quantum computer only in your wrist device. It was just gold plated and it looks snazzy. Like that was completely
it's solid gold. It's solid gold.
Okay, Craig, how is a solid gold wristwatch
Yeah.
a quantum leap for computers?
It isn't, but they're the only ones that done it.
So you just said that Apple only does quantum leap for computers.
That's right. That's why I don't think they're coming out with an Apple TV, because the rumors that they can't come out with anything that's different enough than what's already out there. That's the point. They can't come up with anything that's compelling enough for Apple to say, okay, we've got this, and nobody else has anything close to this.
I think the only way that honestly, I get that they shelved it, but I don't buy the reasons anymore. Like Apple has a really, really great ecosystem with iTunes and your smartphone and your Macs. They have a really great ecosystem, and adding support for a television and all that can only improve it. I can't believe that they'd shelve it just because they couldn't find anything unique enough about it.
The only thing again, if Apple came out with something that you just didn't see, like a transparent TV, where you could see through it, like a pane of glass, and that would come up. That was the Apple TV, or something that was just totally different that you haven't seen anywhere before. Then I think Apple might come out with it, but they can't find anything that's compelling enough that would do that. Interesting.
But I think Tim Cook's Apple completely would.
I don't know.
I really like Steve Jobs. Like they've made so many movies about him. They've made so many so many book deals about his life because he was such a great thinker. He was able to take ideas and take them a step or two further than anyone else would, and then find a way to bring that to market. That was the magic. That was the majesticness, the majesty of Steve Jobs. But I just don't see that in Tim Cook. Tim Cook is a great businessman. He is running Apple like a business, and that is what it needs to be run as.
Yeah,
I don't think that they're in the business of quantum leaps anymore. I think they're in the business of stylish, awesome looking technology, and that's okay.
It's not only Tim Cook though; that he still has the team players that Steve Jobs had. He still has Johnny Ive. He still has these visionaries that he used. I mean, he still has access to people like that. And if Tim Cook says, "Look, we need to come out with the transparent TV on the thing," so we can.
You're latching onto that one idea, and obviously it's not there yet.
I'm just using it as an example, and actually, technically, it is here. A company has come out with a TV that it's just a pane of glass. It leans up against the wall. So the technology is here to do it.
Maybe that's why they're not bringing it out, because Apple under Steve Jobs, maybe he would have done that. Maybe he would have said, forget the bottom line, forget making it profitable. We're doing this because it's going to be awesome. And yet under Tim Cook, he says, there's no way to make this financially viable. This is going to be a huge money sink, and we have no guarantee of our return. Don't do this.
Well, what about the
Apple?
No, then he should. Why didn't he say that about the Apple Watch? Because that's going to be a huge money sink.
Because the Apple Watch, as much as you hate to admit it, is just another smartwatch in a sea of smartwatches.
Well, it does a lot of things that you can't do with the other smartwatches. I will give it that.
So you say.
So anyway, again, so basically, according to this article, they're saying that Apple has not killed its TV dreams, but basically it's just on hold for now. So if you're waiting for an Apple TV, you got a bit of a wait, according to this article from this Wall Street Journal.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Next article. Speaking of futuristic, 2 steps ahead, quantum leap, what have you. How about this one? This one is from CTV News. Yes. Let me just throw it over here on the video stream. CTV News, My Health, and apparently they wrote an article about a British Columbian doctor says he can have perfect vision possible with bionic lenses.
Really?
Yeah. So this is coming from the Canadian Press. Thank you, Canada. Camille Baines. And imagine being able to see 3 times better than 20/20 vision without wearing glasses or contacts. I believe that's called 60/60 vision. But
yes, 60/60.
Okay. Anyways, even at age 100 or more. And apparently it's all with the help of bionic lenses implanted into your eyes.
Okay.
The gentleman working on this in British Columbia, Dr. Garth Webb, he's an optometrist, and he invented what he calls the Ocumetic bionic lens. And he said that they can have perfect vision, and that driving progressive and contact lenses would become a dim memory as the eye care industry is transformed. That's some pretty big words.
Yes, it is.
Not
remember
I mean the size of the words. I mean like the implication behind the words.
Well, remember we had those 2 that were putting drops in the eyes to give them better vision. They were from the labs.
They were not getting better vision; they were getting night vision.
Night vision, yeah. I mean, they were trying to improve the human condition by So.
And do you remember the term that they used?
What was the term that they used?
Biohacking.
Oh, biohacking. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So this would indeed be a form of biohacking, just like the 2 gentlemen that we had on the show on. But this form of biohacking is that he wants to actually implant a lens, a bionic lens that would actively keep track and alter your vision. So even after it's implanted, and let's say your vision deteriorates even more or gets worse, it would actually compensate for that and give you and keep your perfect vision there.
Well, look, we have was it the corneal, not corneal transference, but the procedure that actually reshapes the eye, the cornea of the eye, to give you better vision using laser technology.
Yeah, I can't block it now.
How
they shoot laser at your they shoot lasers at your eyes, and then you see better for some reason. It's crazy.
Your mother even had that because she had the mono version of that done. But the point is, that doesn't take something very important into account, and that is the lens that's inside your eye as you grow older gets stiffer over time, and so it becomes less flexible. Therefore, you still have the inability to read items that are close up. You still have to use glasses to compensate. It looks like this product would possibly address that, because that's called presbyopia, by the way, where the lens becomes rigid as you become more.
So you can remember presbyopia or whatever the word is, but you can't remember LASIK?
LASIK, yes, exactly.
There we go.
Presbyopia is the one that allows that where the lens stiffens, and so even if you've had LASIK, when you try to read something, the lens can't adjust like it used to, and therefore you still need glasses. And I know there are some projects going on finding ways to either replace that internal lens or something to make it softer again. But it looks like something like this may address both problems. Go ahead.
Yeah, but he says that his dream, or at least he has a quote here saying that perfect eyesight should be a human right. He says, and apparently with this new lens, it would be surgery. It would be implanting a new lens into your eye and taking out the old one, but it would give people perfect sight, near vision, far and or near and distant. So no matter what you're trying to read or how far it is, you should be able to see it perfectly.
Yeah,
and not just perfectly, but better than any person's lens, like natural organic lens. This would be better.
Well, this is what I was telling you. It's replacing, or I believe it's replacing, because it's surgery. It's like a cataract surgery. It replaces the lens that becomes stiff over time as you become older, and that would go away with something like this. And basically, between that and you would have perfect vision again, no matter how old you are. You would wind up with 20/20 vision, maybe even 20/15 vision, with something like this. This could be amazing, and if it comes to fruition. I don't know how far away, though. Does the article say?
Well, he says that he's able to do it already with the technology he has, but it seems like it's obviously very, very experimental. He has probably a proof of concept at this point, but I can't imagine that he actually has a thriving business implanting these in people's eyes yet. This is, of course, coming from Canada, so I'm not sure what their version of the FDA is, but or not the FDA, the whatever their medical board is. I'm sure this has to go through some kind of testing, but if it turns out to be true, I can't see it's taking more than a decade to trickle down and becoming an actual surgery that you should be able to have performed on yourself.
Well, he's saying that the bionic lens, that's what they're calling it, could be available in Canada and elsewhere in about 2 years, depending upon all the regulatory processes that go on there. So if it gets approved in Canada in 2 years, maybe we'll see it, more quickly here in the United States.
Let's see, in America, Canada, 2 years, America, yeah, you're right, probably about 30 years. That's somewhere in that neighborhood. No, but yeah, it was a nice example of biohacking, which has been a hot topic on the show lately. And I thought it was really, really cool that one day you may not need don't get me wrong, lasers in your eyes sounds like the most futuristic thing out there, but it may be a step beyond that. You may be able to get bionic lenses put in your eyes, and then when you're staring into someone's eyes, you see like little servos and stuff spinning inside them. It'd be really cool.
It would be cool, especially if your eyes glow in the dark. That would make you look really cool.
Oh yeah,
that would make you really cool.
Terminator eyes. That's the real journey.
They could add that as an option if you want your eyes to glow and you can look really cool. We can do that for an additional, $10,000. You put a little LED.
Maybe by the time it comes out, they'll have like an iPhone app that you can like change the color of your eyes.
Okay.
To get things up with your smartphone.
Yeah. Hey, did you hear about that? Ebola changes the color of your eye. You can get Ebola in your eyeball. Did you know that?
Oh, see, we don't even need these lenses. We could just go get Ebola in our eyes, and that'll change our eye color. Oh, good point, Craig.
From a blue to a nauseating green of some sort. Anyway, okay.
As someone with brown eyes, I would kill for green eyes.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like that would make my life so much easier.
Well, you can change the color of your eyes now. They do have this thing that's
yeah. We did that where they pretty much etch the pigments out using lasers, and they turn your brown eyes blue. But the process is not reversible.
Yeah. Why after you got blue eyes, you wouldn't want to? You think you might want to reverse it someday?
I mean, you're talking to a person that doesn't get a tattoo, because I'm thinking, I've hated like shirts that I've bought and owned for like 15 years. So I'm like, why'd I buy that? I don't like this anymore. Putting a tattoo on myself? Oh.
Yeah. It's permanent. You can't. It's like burning a bridge. Maximum PC's got an interesting story from Paul Lilly. Oculus Rift PC requirements are going to leave out older hardware. You can't use aging hardware. So the question is your PC going to be up to the task for the Oculus Rift VR headset? Okay. So here's what you're going to need. You're going to need a PC that has at least an Intel Core i5-4590 processor, at least an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 970 or AMD Radeon R9 290.
That is not cheap.
Nope. You have to have one of those two. And of course,
one of those two or higher. Like these are probably the minimum.
At least, right? This is at least, and at least 8 gigs of RAM. Okay, well that's not so bad. But the first two, these are the recommended specs. And besides those, you're going to need Windows 7 with Service Pack 1 or newer. You're going to have at least 2 USB 3.0 ports and an HDMI 1.3 video output supporting a 297 megahertz clock via a direct output architecture. So I'm not saying it has to be brand spanking, gleaming new, but if you have anything that's older than that, you're not going to be able to use the Oculus Rift. Okay. And that's at least for now. As it gets out even further, they might change this again. But evidently today, that's what you're going to need to run an Oculus Rift if you're so inclined, if you're thinking about getting one. So that's basically the scope of the article. And
it's nice to know that this piece of technology, it's not going to be a pushover, because if it was, I feel like if it was anything less, it wouldn't be able to, kind of promise, perform what it's promising, and that's virtual reality. That's not an easy thing to do. And let's face it, you don't want a pushover. You don't want frame rate drops, because that'll obviously take you out of the virtual reality. You don't want dips in performance. That'll take you out. You want quick processing. You want all these things to be higher end, so that when you do get this technology, it's not I just found a word but I can't use it on the show. You don't want it to be just totally bad, because yeah, there that's safe for radio. You don't want to be so bad that you kind of come away from saying, well, this technology isn't ready yet, I don't want to use this anymore. If you make them higher rather than lower, sure, you kind of limit the ability for new people to come in, but at the same time, you're kind of ensuring yourself that, hey, if you don't meet the recommended specs, it's not the technology that's the problem, it's your technology that's the problem. And it kind of shifts the blame from Oculus Rift didn't do enough research and didn't do enough testing and didn't do enough development on this product, and it's totally bupkis. Instead, it turns into, my processor's not fast enough, my graphics card is not strong, it's not powerful enough. I need to upgrade to get this to work.
Well,
which is nice.
Yeah. The good news is here that the Oculus Rift is scheduled to launch sometime in the first quarter of 2016. So this is what we're going in, or it's still in May. So you still have, 6 to 8 months before the Oculus Rift is going in. So in that time, you can obviously save your dollars and upgrade your PC to something new. Remember, and when you do, obviously spend as much money as you can, because that'll stave off obsolescence. So you have about 6 to 8 months before the release, and that gives you time. But know that if your computer is any less than what we just said, you're not going to be able to use an Oculus Rift. This again, according to Maximum PC. So those are the minimum specs, the minimum requirements for this device. All right, you're listening to the Computer America Show. We're doing computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. Stories coming up: how to create super intelligent machines that won't kill us, and a super efficient powder producing rubber. These stories and more coming up with another brand new News Tips Bulletin review from Marty Winston. Stay with us. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission of Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is to help build a sustainable, no-kill community where no dogs or cats are ever killed for population control, where true euthanasia is reserved only for animals who are irremediably suffering, or for animals who are truly a threat to society and with no hope of rehabilitation. Brother Wolf staff and volunteers go door to door, neighborhood by neighborhood, to educate citizens about local resources available for at-risk pets and to help their families connect with those resources. Brother Wolf's community-based approach to no-kill helps keep family pets healthy, happy, and in their homes and out of the local shelter system in the first place. For more information or to make a tax-deductible donation to this wonderful 501c3 organization, visit their website at www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they are available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Well, nice of you to show up again. It's Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin review for Computer America. This time, the Pocket Click Stick. The Pocket Click Stick from Thumbs Up turned out to be more interesting than we anticipated. It starts with a handle with a button on it, a rod that telescopes out, a spring-loaded bracket, and a plug that fits a handset's headset jack. You use the spring clamp to hold the handset in landscape mode, rotate the whole thing for portrait mode, bring up your camera app, and push the button on the stick to take a selfie. We love where the batteries go. They go away. It doesn't use batteries or Bluetooth, just the wire you plug in, and the collapsed gizmo is small enough to fit most pockets or purses. Bottom line, the Pocket Click Stick makes it a snap to snap your selfie snapshots. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bullet Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. Please come and sit as we talk about computer and technology news. Brought to you by, of course, Slimmer Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. And we're just going over some of our favorite news stories of the day. Just finished the one about a bionic lens that will let you see not just 2020, but 3 times better than 2020. They say in Canada, 2 years off. That would be amazing if true. Very, very cool technology. But moving on to different stories. No, wait, actually, no. The last one we did was Craig just did the Oculus Rift PC requirements and how it's no slouch for, hardware.
Right.
So that was the last one. So I guess that means the next article would be for me.
Okay.
I believe, right?
Yes.
Right. So how about this one? Now, you may know me as a gamer of sorts. I dabble, if you were to put a word on it. Well, here's one that people have been waiting for a decade at least, and that is the Warcraft movie.
Okay. They're finally.
Wow, Craig, don't sound too excited now.
They're finally coming out with a Warcraft movie.
Finally, I know. After a decade of World of Warcraft, after I believe the original Orcs versus Humans came out in '94, so we're looking at 21 years of Warcraft. They're finally coming out with a feature motion picture, and the first thing that they've released, because before they released who was directing, who they had casted, and all that kind of thing, and it was all nothing really visceral. There were no pictures, there were no movies, there were no videos, there was nothing. Well, here's the first picture that we kind of have from the new movie, just titled Warcraft, and it is of the actor Robert Kaczynski.
Wait a minute, they're not going to call it World of Warcraft, they're just calling it Warcraft? Why?
Because World of Warcraft is the following of is essentially putting you into the events of Warcraft 1, 2, and 3 and beyond. Like the whole story, the main narrative is called Warcraft. And then World of Warcraft, you play as a hero within the world of Warcraft.
But it's a subtle distinction. Most people are not going to know. Everybody knows World of Warcraft. They don't necessarily know Warcraft can be anything.
Warcraft 1, 2, and 3 were, for whatever respective years they came out, every time were Game of the Year games. I mean, it's maybe not in many circles because World of Warcraft was more of a cultural phenomenon, more than just a really, really great PC game. Like everyone got into it. They had South Park episodes. They had questions on Jeopardy. Like it got into popular culture.
Okay.
But Warcraft has been around since '94. So the movie is just titled Warcraft, and Robert Kaczynski, you may know him. Let's see, let me look up his IMDb.
Yeah.
He's English. He's an English film actor, and he apparently does a lot of television. If you watch True Blood, he's in that. Law and Order, a couple of those. Not the most well known, but if you saw him, you know him. But he's pretty much the voice and the character basis behind the main character Orgrim, who is going to be the main orc that they follow throughout this picture. And they're using the same technology that they used to create the Hulk.
All right.
In the Avengers movies.
Right.
So if you saw any of the Avengers movies, if you were one of the lucky 18 billion people that saw that movie, the same kind of motion capture and the same kind of animation to bring the Hulk to life, they're going to use to create the orcs in this.
All right.
And it's the first likeness. It's lifelike, but at the same time, you can still tell it's CGI, and they're kind of hoping to go beyond just what they were able to do in Age of Ultron with the Hulk, and take that a step further, because this character, like the Hulk is great, but at the end of the day, Bruce Banner was still the main character. Like the Hulk would go Hulk, and then he'd go destroy an army, and then he'd come back into Bruce Banner, and then the actor playing him, would be the main character. For the Warcraft movie, this character right here
Yeah.
is the main character. So he's going to be on screen the whole time. He's going to be talking, conversing, moving. You're going to see him in still shots. You're going to see him in fighting. You're going to see him pretty much everywhere. So seeing that technology, it's going to be a step further than what we saw with Age of Ultron. So that's going to be kind of cool.
Is this is this going to be an origin story, or is it going to take us to the beginning of all this?
Kinda like it's I guess it's the founding of the original it's the founding of the original Warcraft. Like it's Warcraft 1. So because there's so many different heroes, like there's not like, there's not a Spider-Man, there's not a Iron Man, there's not, a Wolverine. Like there's no need for an origin story, because eventually I don't feel like this is a spoiler, because at this point Warcraft has been out for 20 years. Eventually he dies and he's replaced by, dozens upon dozens of other characters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. But this is the beginning of what we know as the story of Warcraft.
Okay.
So origin in some ways, but it's not like the whole series revolves around one character.
Okay. And it's coming out when?
It's in post-production now, so hopefully by the end of 2016. It says Warcraft. Actually, they have a date here. Warcraft movie hits theaters June 10th, 2016. So in about a year.
All right. Well, is that a movie you're going to go see?
No. I think I'm going to shy away from that one.
Okay. All right. Good enough.
Of course, I'm going to go see it.
Yeah, you are going to go see it. Okay.
Like, don't get me wrong. There's a bunch of B actors in there, and it's going to be an awesome Warcraft movie. But like, even though they're only B actors, I think they have the right mix of actors that are B, but with one good movie, all of them could become A-list actors. And hopefully Warcraft helps with that. Because they're all like, it's not like they're getting, Angelina Jolie to play the lead female role for the humans. No. It's all going to be characters that you've seen from television, that you've seen from, smaller parts in movies, but now a lot of them are getting their first major role in this movie. And it's that they released the cast list. No one really had anything bad to say. They said that they were smaller actors, but not that they were bad actors.
Smaller actors. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess because you don't really see them, it's not as important, I guess, as it was for.
Well, no, you're only the orcs you're not really going to be able to see, but there's orcs, humans, night elves, all of your nerdy fantasy races. So sure, the orcs are going to be behind a ton of CGI and that kind of thing, but you're going to have humans that are going to look like anyone else. Yeah. You're still going to be able to see people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll wait and see, and you'll give us a review of the movie.
Yes, let's wait a year. Meet back at this time next year.
Next year, he'll give you a review. I wish we had the story when we had Digital Reasoning on the show, we had the CEO of the company that talked about artificial intelligence. I would be curious as what his take is on this article. We need to have him back on the program, though. Very interesting conversation.
He, of course, has an open invitation. A lot of people liked him. Very, very cool hour. And as always, open invitation. But probably before the year's out, we'll invite him on again.
Yep. Well, this story from Popular Science: how to create super intelligent machines that won't kill us. Or subtitle: Preventing an Age of Ultron.
Although we did cover that.
What?
We when we had that guest on.
Yeah.
The name currently escapes me. We did go over that.
Yes, we did. Well, but this article kind of recants that. Charles Q. Choi wrote this article. He said in the movie Age of Ultron, quoting his own words, he says, "I was designed to save the world, but there's only one path to peace: your extinction." And that's how predicated it goes on that way. And the article goes on to talk about, because we brought up with them, how artificial intelligence and people such as Stephen Hawking and the Tesla guy all think that
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, thank you, all think that artificial intelligence is going to be the end of humankind, and he was fairly convinced, our guest, that artificial intelligence isn't going to go that route. That we're never going to have sentient creatures.
As someone working on potentially I mean, he is the one potentially creating the software that will be behind the first iteration of artificial intelligence. Like, that is his company's job, is
Right.
to create artificial intelligence that will scan, collect data, and make decisions based on that data. That is, essentially artificial intelligence. And he doesn't believe that they're gonna, like, one day you're gonna compile a code and bam, it's sentient, and then it locks itself up inside a folder on someone's desktop, and that is sentient, AI. He believed, just going off my memory, which is not that good, is he believed that you'll create a artificial intelligence, but it'll be what we have now. Think with Siri and Google Voice and all these other, and Cortana, but it will become so indistinguishable from intelligence that will become artificial intelligence.
Right. It wouldn't be
That you'll be able to talk to it, converse with it, and interact with it so well that that's the end of artificial intelligence.
Well, the article points out that the problem is coming up with a dumb artificial intelligence. He thinks it might pose more realistic threats than hyper smart ones, because a dumb AI might cause a war crime or crash the stock market, inadvertently, because it's dumb.
But then he said a super intelligent one could end civilization. So I think a little bit more weight there is given to the smart AI.
Yeah. I'm just trying to go with the direction of this story, though. It says basically, he says we can't expect to keep a super intelligent genie locked up in its bottle forever. But the point is that artificial super intelligence, a final possibility suggests that a way to figure out a way to make itself safe. In other words, we would try to leverage the AI's intelligence to learn what we value or to predict what actions we would approve of. But again,
that's how I live my life around my parents.
A robot apocalypse. Okay, so it's an interesting story, but I think
a bit long,
but I think that the story, keeping super intelligence in line seems to be the challenge of artificial intelligence. And although he did go to say that we're not going to see this for a long time, and it says if we do create it, it's not going to be intelligence the way that we think think of intelligence. It won't be human-like. It's going to be a totally different type of animal. What that is, we don't know. But there you go.
This next article, kind of jumping from artificial intelligence, which is a bit of a brain teaser, to an actual brain teaser, that the new White House technology officer poses a brain teaser. This one from, again, Pop Sci, Kelsey Atherton. And apparently, a week ago Monday, Princeton professor Ed Felton accepted a job at the White House as Deputy Chief Technology Officer. It's a long title for something simple. His job is translating complex questions about technology into useful advice for the president. So how did Mr. Ed end the first week on the job? Writing up a brain teaser and asking people to answer it on Twitter. And this is still going on right now, as we're doing the story, 5/18. So here's the brain teaser. To quote, Alice and Bob are playing a game. They are teammates, so they will win or lose together. Before the game starts, they can talk to each other and agree on a strategy. When the game starts, Alice and Bob go into separate soundproof rooms. They cannot communicate with each other in any way. They each flip a coin and note whether it came up heads or tails. No funny business allowed. It has to be an honest coin flip, and they have to tell the truth later about how it came out. Now, Alice writes down a guess as the result of Bob's coin flip, and Bob likewise writes down a guess to Alice's flip. If either or both of the written down guesses turns out to be correct, then Alice and Bob both win as a team. But if both written down guesses are wrong, then they both lose. The puzzle is this. Can you think of a strategy Alice and Bob can use that is guaranteed to win every time?
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, Mr. Ed Felton is continuing to tweet out hints as to how to solve it. And the only hint he's given out so far is this hint: Alice is wrong 50% of the time, and Bob is right 50% of the time. Bob must be right exactly when Alice is wrong. So that's the only hint you've given. If you'd like to answer that, that's on the White House Twitter feed. It's a brain teaser, and I think it's a pretty engaging way because, first of all, we're talking about it, but it's a pretty engaging way for the deputy chief technology officer to start engaging people with a nice little brain teaser. So if you know the answer to that, I'm sure people would love to hear the answer to it. And take it to Twitter.
Okay. Did he make this one up himself, or he actually read this somewhere?
I'm sure the internet being such a powerful device, I'm sure with Google, if he just stole it from a website, then you could find the answer almost immediately.
All right.
So I'm sure he made this one up on his own, because if he didn't, I mean, it wouldn't be much of a contest. Just Google it and you'll get the answer.
Okay. I kind of hinted on this one before, but Ricoh, 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 the company invents a super efficient power producing rubber, and it looks a lot like one of those fruit roll ups you see, that against the plastic.
Those things are delicious.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any food in them, like technically food. I don't think there's any food in fruit roll ups, but
fruit.
They are the most delicious thing ever.
They're fruit. They just compress the fruit, and
it's not fruit.
That's fruit. This
fruit roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. It's evidently they've introduced a unique new flexible material that can create electricity from pressure and vibration. It's called energy generating rubber. This sounds like something that, what was the name of the Flubber, from the movie.
That would be Robin Williams, Flubber. Yeah. And apparently if you just change it from hot to cold and cold to hot really quick, that's how you got Flubber.
And Fred McMurray took that role years before he did. Dubbed the energy generating rubber, it's a piezoelectric mat, combines the best features of existing ceramic and polymeric materials, high energy output and flexibility respectively. In fact, this new rubber produces just as much power as ceramic does while surpassing the flexibility of polymeric materials. This again according to Ricoh. What's more, it is more easily produced than either existing form of piezoelectric. Piezoelectric is really cool. You remember how they used to have the little electric spark in cigarette lighters, and but they had batteries. Well, they solved that problem. They have a piezoelectronic quartz material in it, so you never have to use batteries again. It makes a little arc. You can do some really cool things with piezoelectric electronics. Unfortunately,
apparently cigarettes.
Yes. Unfortunately, that's about everything Enrico has told anyone about this at this time. It's teaming up with the Tokyo University of Science to further improve the material's productive capabilities. See, what could you do with this? Wrap it in something and then and produce high energy output? I'm not sure what.
Well, I mean, if it's rubber, it obviously has a higher. It has a higher flexibility than ceramic does.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure ceramic is used in production of computer parts.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could replace rubber where ceramic would traditionally be, that would, I'm sure, increase durability. Like, just take any situation where ceramic is being used in electronics nowadays, and instantly replace that with this flexible rubber, and durability would just skyrocket because it can't crack.
Well, it's an interesting side effect. I don't know if we'll see that come into consumer products anytime in the near future, but Ricoh owns it, so who knows? What else we got here? We have about a minute or two left to do another story, Ben.
Yeah, I'm actually just looking up the uses of ceramics in electronics, and apparently they're used in critical components in cell phones, computers, televisions, and pretty much, I'm sure, anything with a motherboard in them. So durability, I'm sure, is the primary usage for this. But anyways, yeah, we have a couple minutes, and I think with that one, we're gonna have to send that one over to. Okay, I'm a huge advocate of Google Chrome.
Okay,
that's the secret. Craig uses Firefox still, I believe.
I use them. I use them all. I use them both.
Yeah, and then there's of course a friend of the show, Opera. Always like to recommend them. Safari, need no mention, and apparently now there's no more Internet Explorer. Come out with Edge. Yes, Edge is the proper term now. But Chrome, for all of its lovingness that it gets here in Computer America, it has one huge problem, and that's that Chrome is a RAM hog. Like every new tab and every new instance of Google Chrome that you use, it takes up a huge chunk of RAM to run in the background because they're checking pretty much everything that you do. They're sandboxing every little thing. Any kind of spare RAM that you have no longer goes into system idle anymore. It pretty much just straight goes into Google Chrome idle, where it'll check for updates. It'll check for any kind of security threats. It'll do all that kind of stuff on your RAM's dime, and that's definitely not good.
No.
So apparently, this one from Kit Guru and let's see, Matthew Wilson says that Google Chrome, they're finally going to be working on high RAM usage with Google Chrome. So I know that's a huge complaint of a lot of people out there who use it. It is a resource hog. And apparently they have an engineer that said, we are actively working on reducing battery usage, and we are looking into when Chrome is in the foreground and in the background. So since its inception, Chrome has been focused on security and performance of the web across all platforms. And sometimes performance has come at the cost of resource usage, but given the importance of the mobile platform, this is one of the top things we are looking into. So with mobile being a bigger focus, Chrome is re-evaluating just how much resources it is taking up. Good news there, because honestly, it is a huge, huge, huge problem.
Yeah, it is. I've used it a number of times. One of the things I liked about the Google Chrome is that the little tab would show a speaker. If,
like here, actually, I have my system manager up, and if you're watching our stream, you can actually see here. I have all these programs running, quite a few. But look at the Google Chrome. It has, on my computer that I'm using right now for the show, I currently have about 15 instances of Chrome.exe.
Wow.
That is a resource hog right there.
Yeah, that is a lot. And we also use it for our show. Well,
yeah. Well, I don't care if I was using it for the Hangouts. I don't care what I was using. 15 different instances for one program to run is insane. So they're working on it. They're working on it.
Yeah, exactly. Because right now I'm thinking going back to Firefox, because it is such a resource hog that it really interferes with the operation of the computing. So I might have to go back to Firefox. But Firefox now has that feature that if whatever tab is playing or sound, it will actually give you an indication of that. So they did catch up with that. So I think that
actually there's a secret little piece of code that you can put in, or actually they call them flags that you can turn on, where you can click on the little speaker next to the tab on the Chrome browser. and it will actually mute it just by clicking that little speaker.
It's nice. Yeah. But it's getting too costly as far as
It is.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we're
90
out of
seconds.
Coming up tomorrow night, we're going to have a space curve on the first hour. They talk about spatial performance without limitations. They use the spatial data platform that transfers the Internet of Everything into operational intelligence. And you can see how customers are leveraging Space Curve to fuse and interrogate both live and historical data at an unprecedented speed. And then in the second hour, this is so cool. We're going to have Robot Base on the show. The company's CEO is going to be here talking about
60
the
seconds.
ultimate personal robot. I couldn't believe this thing when I saw it. I said, no way, this can't exist. The ultimate personal assistant that does literally everything for you. It's amazing. We're going to have the company CEO on in the show in the second hour. That's going to be very, very interesting. You don't want to miss that. Again, thank you so much for being with us here tonight. And again, thanks to AVG for being with us here as well. Tony Anscombe, the senior security evangelist. Thanks again for being with us here on Computer America. So Ben and I will see you tomorrow night, same time, same station. So until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Good night, everyone.
10 seconds. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
All right, again, thanks everybody for watching. And again, yeah, this personal robot that's coming on tomorrow night's show, you really need to check it out. It's going to be a very interesting program. We'll see you tomorrow night here on Computer America.
Yep. Good night, everyone.
Good night.